So in the last lecture, you can see in the screen. So in the last lecture, we have derived operating region of driver MOSFET for resistive load inverter. In the last lecture, we have derived for all critical voltage what is the operating region of driver MOSFET for the different critical voltage, right? So for the VOH, so when we are deriving the VOH, operating region of driver MOSFET is in a cutoff. For another critical voltage, it is a VIL. So whenever input voltage is equal to VIL, operating region of driver MOSFET, it is in a saturation. This screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And when the critical voltage is a VIH, operating region of driver MOSFET in a linear regions. And whenever the critical voltage is VOL, operating region of driver MOSFET, it is in a linear regions. So in the last lecture, we have derived the operating region of resistive load inverter for a different critical voltage. Now today's lecture, we are going to derive. In a today's lecture, we are going to derive the equation of, or we want to analyze the noise margin. So we'll find the equation of VOH, VIL, VIH and VOL, and we'll see it depends on which parameter of the MOSFETs, right? So our today's lecture we will derive. So in the last lecture we have started a resistive load inverter. Resistive load inverter. So in a resistive load inverter, between a VDD and output, connected the load device as a resistor, source and bulk terminal of driver MOSFET is connected, and the gate terminal of driver MOSFET it connected at an input voltage. So for the resistive load inverter circuit, here we can say whatever the load current, it is equal to the driver current of the drain current of the NMOS enhancement type driver MOSFETs, right? As well as drain to source voltage. Drain to source voltage is nothing but the V out voltage of resistive load inverter, and the gate to source voltage, it is nothing but the input of resistive load inverter. So gate to source voltage, it is equal to input voltage. Drain to source voltage of resistive load inverter, it is a V out voltage, and the load current, it is equal to driver current of NMOS enhancement type driver MOSFETs, right? Now our first step is to derivation of VOH. So let me first derive the VOH. So from the definition, VOH, it is a output voltage. From the definition of VOH, VOH is defined as it is a maximum output voltage, right? So it indicates VOH, it is a output voltage. VOH, it is equal to output voltage from the definition of VOH. Now when the output is equal to VOH, what should be the input? So output is a maximum, then input is minimum. So input at that time, it is a VOL, which is a minimum input voltage, right? So when output is maximum, input is minimum. So for this condition, let me see what is the operating region of the driver MOSFET. So when output is equal to VOH, driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region. Driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region, that we have to see from the table which we have derived in the last lecture. So driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region, and we have an equation here, IL is equal to ID for the resistive load inverter. So IL is equal to ID. IL is equal to ID. Now let me write the equation of IL. So IL is the current passing through this resistance, load resistance. So here the potential is the VDD, and another terminal potential, it is a V out. So VDD minus V out divided by resistance value, right? So load current is defined as potential difference VDD minus V out divided by resistance value. VDD minus V out divided by RL. Now what is the ID? So in a cutoff region, ID is equal to 0. So in a cutoff region, ID current is equal to 0, right? So let me substitute the V out. So V out is equal to our VOH. So substitute V out is equal to VOH. So VDD minus VOH divided by RL is equal to 0. So what is the value of VOH? So VOH is equal to VDD. So in a resistive load inverter, VOH it is equal to VDD. In a resistive load inverter, VOH is equal to VDD. Now what is our second parameter we want to derive? So second parameter is, let's derive the VOL. Let me derive the second parameter, second critical voltage, VOL. So from the definition, what is the VOL? VOL is output voltage. So let me equate output is equal to VOL. So whenever output is equal to VOL, what is the input? So we want a minimum output voltage, we require the maximum input voltage. So whenever we want required a minimum output voltage, our input is maximum. So whenever output is minimum and input is maximum, let's say what is the operating region for these conditions, right? So operating region for these conditions, which we already derived in the last lecture. So whenever output is equal to VOL, operating region of the condition is a linear region. So here driver MOSFET operate in a linear region. Driver MOSFET operate in a linear region. Driver MOSFET operate in a linear regions. So IL is equal to ID linear. IL is equal to ID linear. Let's substitute the ID linear, IL and ID linear. So IL is defined as VDD minus V out divided by RL, right? Now ID linear can write as mu n COX divided by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS no square, right? This is the definition of ID linear or equation of ID linear, which we already written in the last lectures, right? So VDD minus V out divided by RL is equal to mu n COX by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS no square. So this is the ID linear current equation. All of you have to write parallel with me, right? So all of you, once you write, we will move further. So have you completed? Have you written? Can anyone please repeat?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let me simplify these equations. So our equation, it is a VDD minus V out divided by RL is equal to mu n COX by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS no square, right? So let me substitute the value, different value of VGS and VDS. So what is the VGS? So VGS is equal to input. Now here input is a VOH and VOH we already derived, it is a VDD. So instead of VGS we will substitute a VDD. What is the VDS? VDS is output and that we want to derive. It is here in this case is VOL. We are going to derive the VOL. V out is equal to VOL, right? So instead of VDS we will substitute a VOL and instead of V out also will substitute a VOL because V out is equal to VOL and we want to derive the VOL. Now instead of mu1 COX into W upon L will substitute a Kn transconductance, right? And instead of mu(n) and Cox, it is called a transconductance, and into W upon L, it is also called a transconductance Kn, right? And if we see what is the unit of this transconductance, it is volt per ampere square. If we substitute unit of the mobility and the capacitance, it will, the unit of transconductance will get in ampere, ampere per volt square. Ampere per volt square. Now let's substitute this value in this above equations. So we'll get the VDD minus VOL divided by RL is equal to, instead of mu and Cox into W upon L, let's substitute the Kn. So Kn by 2 into 2 times of, instead of VGS, it is a VDD minus VT threshold voltage into VDS. Instead of VDS, we'll substitute a VOL minus VDS no square. So VOL no square. VOL no square. Right. From this equation, our interest is to find out the VOL. Our interest is to find out the VOL. So here the equation is look like a second order equation which have the VOL square terms, VOL terms and some constant terms. Right. So let me simplify it in that forms, like a VOL square plus b VOL plus c something equal to 0 or constant, that can be simplified minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Right. So let me arrange this equation in that forms. So let me multiply by RL into the Kn, and 2 is here. So here it can say the 2 VDD minus 2 VOL is equal to Kn RL 2 times of Kn RL into VDD minus VT into VOL minus Kn RL into VOL square. Kn RL into VOL square. Right. Now let's take the negative sign common, and let's take this terms VOL square in this sides, right, and then we'll equate to 0. So this minus Kn RL VOL square comes into the left hand side, it is a plus, and let me divide all the term by Kn RL. So what is the we'll get a VOL square positive, right? Then this term is negative and we'll divide by Kn RL. So it is, the remaining is 2 times of VDD minus VT into VOL, right? And this terms let me divide by Kn RL. So and VOL will add here. Let's add this terms negative and this as it is. So minus 2 divided by Kn RL VOL and here also divide by 2 divided by Kn RL VDD is equal to 0. So is it clear? This is VOL square minus 2 times of VDD minus VT minus 2 Kn RL into VOL plus 2 times of 2 divided by Kn RL into VDD is equal to 0. Now from this equation, what is our A? A is the coefficients of VOL square. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to, let's take 2 common, so 2 VDD minus VT plus 1 upon Kn RL. So that is our B, and C is equal to 2 divided by Kn RL. That is the value of C, right? So let me solution of this equation is minus B. Let me write it again here. So VOL square minus 2 times of VDD minus VT, and taken the minus 2 common, then VDD minus VT, and here the plus 1 upon K N RL into VOL plus 2 divided by K N RL into VOL into VDD is equal to 0. So here our A value is equal to 1, B is equal to minus 2, VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL, and C is equal to 2 divided by K N RL into VDD. This is the value of C, right? So solution of the second order equation is for the VOL, it is, we can say it is a minus B plus or minus root of B square minus 4AC divided by 2A. So let me substitute. It's have a two roots, and VOL value is a positive and near about 0, right? So the plus sign, if you take, then it goes into the some negative value or complex, and negative sign will give the correct answer. So let me minus B. So B is a minus 2 VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL. So minus B is equal to plus 2 VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL, right? Plus or minus. So let me take solution is minus. So minus B square. So square of this term. So 2 no square 4, and VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL no square minus 4AC. So 4A is equal to 1 and C is equal to 2 VDD divided by K N RL, right? So this is inside the root, right? So divided by 2A, A is equal to 1. So let me take the 2 common. So inside the root is 4. Let me take the 4 common from inside the root, and it's cancelled. So solution of VOL is equal to VDD minus threshold of the device plus 1 upon K N RL minus root of that again the B. So VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL no square minus 2 VDD divided by K N RL. So this is a complete equation for a VOL, right? Any doubts so far? So this is the VOL, it is a VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL minus root of VDD minus VT plus 1 upon K N RL no square minus 2 times of VDD divided by K N RL. So this is the another critical voltage VOL. So VOL can find, and it depends on the different parameter of the resistive load inverter. So what are the different parameter on which it is dependent? So first parameter is a VDD. It is a power supply, right? It's not a user defined parameters. VT, it is a threshold voltage. It's again not a user cannot control the VT. It is a technology dependent parameter. Plus 1 upon KNRL. Definitely yes, the KNRL we can control. The user can control depending on the required value of V1. So it is depending on the value of KNRL. As the KNRL is larger, it will reduce the VOL value. It is inversely proportional to the KNRL. And the VOL we want as low as possible, because VOL is the minimum output voltage, and we want the logic 0 minimum output voltage tends to be 0 for the strong 0 output, right? So VOL is inversely proportional to the KNRL. By increasing the value of KNRL, we can reduce the value of VOL. Now we'll see next. Once if you are written, then let me move further to derive the rest of two critical voltage VIL and the VIH. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
And screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me move the next critical voltage. It is a VIL. So let me derive the VIL. So let me derive the next critical voltage is a VIL, right? So VIL, let me tell the VIL, it is a input voltage or an output voltage. VIL is a input voltage, so we'll write input is equal to VIL, right? So whenever the input is equal to VIL, what is the output? So input is a logic 0, so output it is a logic 1, near about the high, right? So near about the VOH or a high. We cannot say it is exactly VOH or a VDD, but its value is high, right? Now input is equal to VIL, output is equal to high. So whenever input is equal to VIL, operating region of driver MOSFET operate in a. So when input is equal to VIL, driver MOSFET operate in a, which region it operate? Can anyone say what is the operating region of driver MOSFET when input is equal to VIL?
Saturation.
Saturation.
Yes, correct. It's operate in a saturation regions, right? So let me again, the procedure is IL is equal to the ID. Now the MOSFET operate in saturation, so we'll use ID saturation current equations. Let me substitute the value of IL. So IL is equal to VDD minus the V out divided by RL is equal to ID saturation current equation. So it is a mu n CUX by 2 into W upon L into VGS minus VT no square. VGS minus VT square. So let me simplify it. We cannot replace the V out because V out is, we cannot know what is the exit value of V out. If not, a VDD is slightly less than that. So let me replace the VGS. So we'll replace the VGS by the input voltage, and input voltage here we are deriving for the VL. So input is a VL. So when it is a input voltage, right? Let's keep it is a input voltage. VGS is equal to input voltage, and replace the mu and COX into W upon L by the Kn. So it will be equation is VDD minus V out divided by RL is it equal to Kn by 2 into V input minus Vt no square. V input minus Vt no square. Now we know in a from the characteristics. Let me here it again. I'll draw the VTC curve, so you will be clear what is the definition of VIL. So VIL is the input voltage. VIL is the input voltage when the slope of this line is equal to -1. So when slope dV out divided by dV or the gain. So whenever the gain of this line or the slope of this line is equal to -1, corresponding input voltage it is called a VIL, right? So for the VIL, it is a dV out. When the dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1, at that time we can substitute input is equal to VIL, right? So let me differentiate the both the side. Let differentiate this equation. Differentiate both the side with respect to V in. Differentiate this equation both the side with respect to V in, and consider V out and V in are the variable, and rest of VDD, RL, Kn and Vt are the constants. So let me differentiate. What is the answer of differentiation? VDD is constant, so differentiation of constant is 0. V out is a variable, so differentiation of V out is dV out divided by dV divided by RL as it is equal to differentiation of this term. It is like a x minus c no square. So differentiation of this term is 2x minus c, and x no differentiation 1. So here Kn by 2 and 2 V in minus Vt. This is the differentiation, and V in no differentiation 1, right? So 2 cancel. So minus dV out divided by dV in divided by RL is equal to Kn V in minus Vt. It is equal to Kn V in minus Vt. So let me continue. let me write again this equation which we have in a previous page. Minus dV out divided by dV in into 1 upon RL is equal to Kn V in minus Vt, right? So let me multiply by now let me substitute. So when we substitute dV out divided by dV in, when we substitute dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1, at that time we can substitute V in is equal to VIL according the definition of VIL. So whenever the dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1, we can substitute the V in is equal to VIL. So let's substitute this value in above equations. So -1 into 1 upon RL is equal to Kn VIL minus Vt. And we want to derive the VIL. So what is the value of VIL? So let's take in this side minus minus plus. So VIL is equal to Vt. If you want to take in this side, so it is a Vt plus 1 upon KNRL. Vt plus 1 upon KNRL. So this is the value of VIL. Is it clear? This VIL is equal to Vt plus 1 upon KNRL. So again the VIL is depends on the threshold voltage of MOSFET plus the transconductance and the resistance value. Right. So again it is inversely proportional to the KNRL. So to improve the VIL we need to increase the value of KNRL. Now our last critical voltage for resistive load inverter, it is a VIH. It is a VIH. So VIH can derived. VIH it is, let's start. VIH it is input voltage or output voltage. So definitely VIH it is a input voltage according the definition of VIH. Now when the input is equal to VIH, what is the output? So output is near about VOL or the output is a low. Output is equal to low. It is, we cannot say exactly what is the output value, but we can say it is a near about the VOL. So when input is equal to VIH, what is the operating region of the driver MOSFET? So driver MOSFET operate in a linear regions. As per we already derived the table. So driver MOSFET operate in linear region. In a linear region when the input is equal to VIH, right? So let's substitute IL is equal to ID linear regions. IL is equal to ID linear. IL is equal to ID linear. Now let's substitute the value of IL VDD minus V out divided by RL, and value of ID it will be the mu n CUX by 2 W upon L 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS naught square. So let me do it here. So IL is equal to ID linear. Now it can write as VDD minus V out divided by RL is equal to mu n CUX by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS no square minus VDS square. Now let's substitute what is the VGS for resistive load inverter. It is input voltage. What is the VDS for resistive load inverter? It is an output voltage. So and also let me substitute, instead of mu n CUX into W upon L, let me substitute as a one constant Kn, transconductance. So this equation is more simplified as VDD minus V out divided by RL is equal to Kn by 2 into 2 times of V in minus Vt into V out minus V out no square minus V out no square, right? Now we know the definition of VIL again. So VIL, it is the input voltage when the dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1. It is similar like a VIL. VIH again a input voltage when dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1. So let me differentiate to make dV out divided by dV in -1. Let me differentiate both the side. Let differentiate both the side with respect to V in. Let differentiate the both the side with respect to V in, right? So what is the differentiation? So differentiation is from this left hand side difference is VDD, it is a constant. So differentiation of minus V out, it is a minus dV out divided by dV in and divided by RL. So differentiation on the left hand side is 1 upon RL into minus dV out divided by dV in. Right. Now differentiation on the that right hand side. So right hand side kn by 2 as it is, right? So now in this first term have a two variable. One variable is V in, another variable is V out. So it is a product of two variable. So differentiation is, let me keep one term as it is and differentiate the one term and then again differentiate the other term. So let me keep 2 V out as it is first times. And let's do the differentiation of V in minus Vt. So what is the differentiation of V in minus Vt? V into differentiation 1, Vt into differentiation 0. So differentiation of V in minus Vt is 1. Right. Now let's do the differentiation of another term V out. At that time we'll keep the V in minus Vt as it is. So 2 V in minus Vt as it is. Differentiation of V out. So differentiation of V out is dV out divided by dV in. Differentiation of V out, it is the dV out divided by dV in. Now the differentiation of V out square. So differentiation of V out square is 2 V out and differentiation of V out is dV out divided by dV in. Right? It is like a x square. Okay. So this is the differentiation of the above terms. If a differentiation of this equation 1, let's say it is equation 1. So differentiation of equation 1, it is 1 upon RL into minus dV out divided by dV in is equal to Kn by 2 into 2V out plus 2V in minus Vt into dV out divided by dV in minus 2V out into dV out divided by dV. Right? Now in this equation we'll substitute a when we substitute the dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1, we can substitute input is equal to VIH, right? So substitute dV out divided by dV in is equal to -1 and input is equal to VIH. So we'll get the equation of a VIH. So let's see what is the equation of a VIH. Right. So let's substitute dV out divided by dV in. So in a left hand side it is a 1 upon RL multiplied by minus dV out divided by dV in. So minus minus plus. So it is a 1 is equal to, in a left hand side let's take the 2 common from all the terms. So have a see. So in this equation have a 2 and 2, it is divided by 2. So let it take common and cancel it. So remaining is Kn in bracket 2 Kn in bracket V out and 1 V out from here, it is minus plus. So 2 V out plus here it is a minus, so minus VIH and plus VT. So if we simplify that, it is a Kn in bracket V out, right? And one terms is minus minus V input, and instead of input is VIH, and minus plus, so VT is equal to plus, and last term is a minus plus, so it is a V out, right? So we can say here the VIL. So let this Kn is divided by here, so 1 upon KNRL, and 2 V out, and VT, so VIH taking this side, so it is a VIH is positive is equal to 2 V out plus VT minus 1 upon KNRL, minus 1 upon KNRL, right? So here we'll get the value of V out in terms of a function of V out. So here we get the value of VIH in a function of V out, right? So to find out the exact solution, we have to solve these two equations. One equation is this equation 2, and another equation is in equation 1, which we already written. So if we substitute in equation 1, instead of V in as a V out equation, instead of V in, let me substitute equation of VIH, right? 2V out plus VT minus 1 upon KNRL. Then in equation 1 we'll have only the V out, second order equation of V out, right? And if we solve that V out, we'll get the value of V out is, if we solve the equation 1 and 2 by substituting instead of V in as a VIH, then we'll get as a V out, solving equation 1 and 2, taking V in is equal to VIH, will get the value of V out when input is equal to VIH is equal to we'll get root of 2 divided by 3, root of 2 divided by 3 VDD divided by KNRL. So when we solve the equation 1 and 2 parallelly by taking V in is equal to VIH, so we'll get the solution of V out. It is a second order equation, and if we solve, we'll get the 2 root out of 3. V out value is a positive, so consider the positive solution is the correct answer. So positive solution is root of 2 divided by 3 VDD divided by KNRL. So if we substitute this value of V out in equation 2, if we substitute by putting V out in equation 2, we'll get the solution of VIH. So VIH is equal to 2 V out plus VT minus 1 upon KNRL. So VIH is equal to, let me take inside, so it is a root of 8 by 3 VDD divided by KNRL plus VT minus 1 upon KNRL. This is the solution of VIH. This is the solution of a VIH, right? VIH. Out whatever we have derived the 4 critical voltage for resistive load inverter. Any doubt in a procedure to derive, then you can ask. Otherwise, note down all the 4 critical voltage equations. It is required to solve the numeric to find out the noise margin, right? So in this, all the 4 critical voltage, right, VOH is a constant, it is equal to VDD, and rest of 3 critical voltage depend on the K and RL. So K and RL is a design parameters. So by improving the value of K and RL, the characteristics goes toward the ideal. So if we increase the value of K and RL, so K and RL is only a design parameters in a resistive load inverter. So K and RL, it is a design parameter. Design parameters, right? So by increasing the value of K and RL, as if we plot VTC curve for the different value of K and RL, right? So this is the VTC curve. Let if we increase the value of K and RL, right? So this is the three curve for the three different value of K and RL, or a three transconductance value. K and RL 1 volt inverse. Let's say value of K and RL here it is a 2 volt inverse, and this value of K and RL suppose it is a 4 volt inverse. So by increasing the value of K and RL, we'll get the characteristics of VTC goes toward the ideal characteristics. We know the ideal characteristics have a sharp cutoff, and VOL value is equal to 0. So as increase the K and RL, VOL goes toward the 0. It is decreasing, right? So as we increase the value of K and RL, the characteristics VTC curve goes toward the ideal, right? Now what is the K and how to increase the K and RL, right? So K and RL, it is a design parameter. Either we can increase the RL to increase the product of K and RL. Another we can increase the Kn by increase the product of K and RL, right? So when we Kn, we know the Kn is depends on the mu n COX into W upon L. So mu n is not a in a user cannot control the mu n. It is a mobility of electron channel formed due to the electrons. So the electron mobility affect the channel conductivity. So K and transconductance depend on the mu n. It is not a user cannot control the mu n. Another parameter is the COX. So COX is again a oxide capacitance. The capacitance forms. So COX is EOX divided by TOX, where EOX is the permittivity of that material, oxide material, and TOX is the width of that oxide material above the channel. Whatever the oxide SiO2 we are putting, whatever the width of that SiO2, that is TOX. Now that TOX, it depends on the technology. Each technology, suppose it is fabricated using a 90 nanometer technology, that means fixed TOX is fixed for the 90 nanometer technology. So COX is also not controlled. COX is also not depends on, okay, user cannot control the value of COX. So remaining is to increase the value of Kn. Remaining parameter is a W upon L. Normally L is the equal to the technology. So only the W value, width of the MOSFET, it is in a user hand. So user can control the width of the MOSFET, and it can set the Kn value. So if you want to increase the Kn value, we need to be increase the W, right? So increasing the W, it will increase the area. It directly increase the area requirement in a fabrications, right? So here it is a trade-off to improve the noise margin, improve the, another is can increase the K and RL by increasing the RL. So again the RL, it is a resistance, and it is in fabricate inside the chip. So to fabricate the higher value resistance inside the chip, it requires the larger area. So to fabricate the large value of resistance inside the chip, it's again the required the larger area, right? So it's again increase the area requirement. Here normally two material used to fabricate the RL. One is the diffusion, another is the undoped polysilicons. So if we use the diffusion material, then in a diffusion material, it's have a suppose in a layout, here it is a VDD, and from the VDD it's a, so to fabricate a large value of resistance, we need to be increase the its length. So that length can be increased by using some zigzag patterns, right? And it's here that NMOS. So NMOS, this is the layout of NMOS. Here it is an N plus, and this is the polysilicon SiO2. So at polysilicon input is connected, and here it is a source and it's a drain, N plus, and source connected with the ground, and the drain connected with the that resistance, right? So this is the using the diffusion material, but diffusion material have a 20 to 40 ohm resistivity per square, per this square. So square of this per square, it's have a 20 to 40 ohm resistivity. So if you want the resistance in a kilo ohm, we require very large length inside the chip, very large length inside the chip. Another is doped silicon. If you use the doped silicon, it's have a very large resistivity. It's have a very large resistivity. So if we use a doped silicon, so here it is a drain terminal of NMOS, and here it is connected with the ground. So it is a doped polysilicon. So if you use the doped polysilicon material as a resistance, then doped polysilicon material have a in terms of mega ohm, resistivity per square. So we can fabricate very large value resistance in a smaller area if we use the doped polysilicon material instead of the diffusion silicon materials, right? But the disadvantage of the doped polysilicon material is we cannot control the resistance at minor levels. If you want to change the resistance as 1 ohm, 2 ohm, or any accurate resistance we want, that is not possible, not able to control in a doped polysilicon materials, right? So whenever we are implementing a logic gate where we have to be control the parameter value, means the resistor noise margin value, which have required the accurate the RL value, then it is not possible to implement using the doped polysilicon materials, because the resistivity of doped polysilicon material is not a control, so we cannot get a accurate the noise margin which we want to set. So normally doped polysilicon material is used when we fabricate the SRAM or a memory device, where the noise margin is not an important parameter, but important parameter is the power dissipations, right? So how it depends on the power, later we will see the power dissipation and the resistance value, but it is used for the to design the memory where the parameter of a noise margin, such accurate parameter of noise margin is not important, and the diffusion resistance where we can accurately we can set the resistance using the diffusion resistance material. But the disadvantage of the diffusion material is it required the larger silicon area. Because of very less resistivity of the material. It's a 20 to 40 ohm per square. So it's a very less resistivity. So we require the very larger area inside the chip to fabricate the large value of resistance, right? So here we can say again a trade-off between the noise margin and the area requirement. If you want the higher noise margin, we require the larger value of the resistance, and to fabricate the larger value of resistance, it requires the larger area. So here it's again a trade-off between the noise margin and the area requirements, right? Now we'll see how the resistance and power dissipation is a trade-off, right? So power dissipation of resistive load inverter, when it dissipate the power, when this circuit it dissipate the power. So this circuit it dissipate the power when the driver MOSFET operate in a conducting stage. So whenever input is logic 1, then it dissipate the power. So this is the circuit. So let's see, analyze it. So whenever our input is equal to logic 0, let's say our input is equal to logic 0, less than the input voltage is less than it's the threshold. So at that time driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff region and it not dissipate any power. So our this VDD is not connected to ground through any direct path. So current passing here, it is equal to 0. So ID current is equal to 0. So power dissipation. So power dissipation when the input is logic 0 is power supply multiplied by current sink from the supply. So what is the current sink from the supply? IL. It is equal to ID. So VDD into is equal to ID. So power dissipation here it is 0 in a case of when input is equal to logic 0. Now we'll analyze when input is equal to logic 1. So whenever the input is equal to logic 1, right, then let's say the equivalent circuit VDD here it is in RL and MOSFET operate in a conducting stage. So the VDD get the direct ground path through which it can dissipate the power. So ID is a non-zero ID current. So when the input is maximum, the MOSFET operate in a saturation regions, right? So ID is a ID saturation region. So power dissipation in this case it is a VDD multiplied by ID saturation region, right? So VDD is nothing but in that case V out. So when input is maximum, V out is V while. So output is equal to V while and ID saturation is equal to IL current. So IL current can find as a VDD minus V out divided by RL, right? Divided by RL. So here we can say the power dissipation when the input is logic 1, it is equal to VDD or this V while into VDD minus V while divided by RL. So this is the power dissipation when the input is equal to logic 1. So what is the average power dissipation? So if we find if we assume our input is coming the equal probability of 0 and 1. If the probability of input is 50% of coming the 0 logic and 50% coming the 1 logic, if we assume that, then the power dissipation is a averaging of these two, 0 plus this divided by 2. So it is a VOL divided by 2 into VDD minus VOL divided by RL. So here we can say the power dissipation, it is inversely proportional to the resistance value. So power dissipation PDC, it is inversely proportional to the RL. Inversely proportional to the RL. So if you want to reduce the power dissipation, we need to be increase the resistance value. And in a previous we have seen to increase the resistance value, it requires the larger silicon area. Larger silicon area. So resistance value directly proportional to the area requirement of the chip, right? So we can say the power dissipation it is proportional to the one of area requirement, right? So if you want to reduce the power dissipations, if you want to reduce, we want to reduce the power dissipation, we have to compromise in terms of the area requirement. So power dissipation in a resistive load inverter, it is inversely proportional to the area requirements, right? So here it's again a trade-off, area requirement and the power dissipations value, right? So these are the different parameters we have analyzed. Noise margin we have analyzed. We have analyzed what is the power dissipation of the resistive load inverter, and it depends on which are the different parameters. We have analyzed that area requirement of the resistive load inverter. So we have analyzed the three critical characteristics. One is the noise margin, and then another is the power dissipation, and third is the area requirement of the resistive load inverter, right? Any doubts you can ask. No any doubts? Right. So if you do not have any doubts, then let me end our lecture here.